Hello guys, welcome to Dr. Class. Today we are going to discuss a very important topic of cytology, and that is the cell theory. In the previous session, we were discussing about the discovery of the cell and the discovery of nucleus. In today's session, we are going to discuss about the cell theory, which is the post-nuclear discovery event. Now, the discovery of cell was done in the year 1665. Discovery of nucleus was done in the year 1831, but if you notice, then there is more than 150 years in between, which were the latent period for the cytology. But the after, or you can say post nuclear discovery, after 6 or 7 years, the cell theory was emerged, and the cell theory gear up the way, or you can say gear up the speed of the discoveries under cytology, and we accelerate the process to understand cytology. So for that, the cell theory is very important. So let's get started. Yes. So the cell theory was given by two scientists, Matthew Sheldon and the Theodore Swan. Now examiner can ask direct question regarding these two scientists about their designation and about the research. So let's understand first by the Matthew Sheldon. So Matthew Sheldon, who was the German scientist. The Matthew Sheldon was the German scientist who experiment on plant in year 1838. He looked and analyzed some plants, and what he analyzed, what he concluded, that every plant, actually all plant, are made up by cell. So this was the conclusion given by Matthew Sheldon. Okay, so Matthew Sheldon gives us conclusion that all plants are made up by the cell. Now Theodore Swan looked the research of the Matthew Sheldon, and after 1 year in 1839, now Theodore Swan was the British zoologist. He was the British zoologist. Also analyze some animals or animal tissues, and after analyze the animals, what he find the same result, that all the animal, okay, all animal on this earth are made up of cells, right? So now what we get by the Matthew Sheldon, we get that all plants were made up of the cell, and all animals are also made up by cell. But here one important interesting thing which comes after the experiments of Theodore Swan, that was the discovery of cell membrane. How that occur? So Theodore Swan actually knows that Matthew Sheldon sees that there was a cell wall, which is the rigid structure present in the every plant cell, but that particular rigid structure was not present in the case of animal cell, which are studied by the Theodore Swan. So basically what Theodore Swan says, that the Theodore Swan basically says that this particular thing, this animal cell does not consist cell wall, but the outer membrane is a thinner, and it is also present in a plant cell under the cell wall, and hence it is called as the cell membrane. Clear? Why? Because cell membrane is the innermost layer of, you can say, innermost boundary of cell. Clear? So that's why the credit of cell membrane discovery is given to the Theodore Swan. Is it clear up to this? So let's look next. So now we are clear that the all plants or animals, even every organism, are made up by cell. So what they provide us, they provide the statement. Two statements were given by these two scientists. The first one was every organism is made up of at least one cell. And the second statement was very important. The second statement tells us that every organism is composed of cell and its product. Or in other terms, every organism is composed of cell and the product of cell. Now what is the meaning of this? We understand that every organism is composed of cell, but this word, the product of cell, it also consists various, you can see it also consists some fact inside that, and that is what, that the product of cell means that cell should be complete. Any disability or any devoidance of organelle inside cell will be result in the non-livingness of cell. The other thing, let's understand that our body compose cell like this. Our tissues compose cell like this. Now due to this, what happen, that cell makes two space. One is the intracellular space, okay, where you will find intracellular fluid as well. I don't know whether you see or not this writing. So basically the space inside the cell is known as the intracellular space, but the space in between cell is known as the intercellular space, or in the medical terms you can say it is the interstitial space. This one is the interstitial space, and in which what happen, in which you will found the presence of ECF. Now ECF is what? ECF is the extracellular fluid, and understand this carefully that the extracellular fluid is so much important. It is our homeostasis material. And what is homeostasis? It is our internal environment. Whenever you have to regulate your body temperature, whenever you have to regulate your breath process, everything, your pH maintenance, osmosis maintenance, this all is governed by the evolution of the ECF, extracellular fluid. So this extracellular fluid is also important, and extracellular fluid is actually formed by the cell. So that is nothing but the product of cell. So no organism can live without the product of cell, right? So cell should be full. Clear? So there are two concepts regarding the product of cell. On the one way you can go as in a cell should be complete, right? Devoidance of a single organelle will result fatal for the cell, and the second thing is of ECF. So this was given by two scientists, Theodor Schwann and Matthias Schieden, according to the 1839 and 1838. Is it clear? Now, so up to this we are understand that yes, every organism is made up by cell. But one more question is there. If we say that the organisms are made up by cell, then how the new organism is generated? From where the new cells are come? From where new cells were come? That is the big question, which is not solved by this cell theory. Clear? So our question is what? Our question is that from where the new cells are arise. So for the solution of this, in year 1858, in the year 1855, the scientist known as Rudolf Virchow gave us a statement, and the statement was what? It is the omnicellula e cellula, which means what? Omni is stand for omniverse, right? It means a universe, right? It is the universe. In the universe, cellula e celluli means what? That every cells are arise from their pre-existing cell. One cell will form the new cell, and that is the omnicellula e celluli. So what is the meaning of omnicellula e celluli? Omnicellula e celluli means in the universe every cells are arise from their pre-existing or their parental cell. Isn't clear? Right? So this was very important. This is very important actually, because this one is the question of 2018 NEET. So you have to go with it as well. So in the year 1855, some book might write year 1858, right? That is also right. Why? Because the discovery, actually the statement was actually given in the year 1855, but its credit was given in the year 1858. So whatever is given, that is true for us, right? So Rudolf Virchow gives the word or a statement omnicellula e celluli, which means that the prior cell is arise from their new cell arise from their pre-existing cell. So now our cell theory is complete. So the first one is known as old cell theory, and now due to the interference or the manipulation of Rudolf Virchow makes our cell theory as a modern cell theory. Is it clear? So what modern cell theory says us? Modern cell theory says us that the all living organism, right? The first important statement is all living organisms are composed of cell and the product of cell. This one is very important, product of cell, right? This was given by the Matthias Schieden and Schwann in the year according to the 1838 and 1839. 9. Is it clear? Now the second statement is what? The all cells arise from their pre-existing cell. So this is the cell theory. So normally cell theory is given by this triad of Schleiden, Schwann and Virchow. Clear? So this is for the cell theory. Now let's look on the questions. What kind of question they ask from the cell theory? So let's start it. Cell theory was formulated by whom? Okay, I think this one is easy for you, so please stop or pause the video and see and give answer, right? So the answer is A, Schleiden and Schwann. Very easy question, in the year 1838 and 1839. Now match the column 1 and column 2. So please pause the video at your certain time and give the answer. So let's understand. So Leeuwenhoek, very easy thing, that Leeuwenhoek was first see and describe the living cell. Okay, Leeuwenhoek first see and describe living cell. Robert Brown. Okay, so first thing, that how you will solve this kind of question. For this kind of question, don't do that much effort and don't read each and every statement, just go with the tactics, right? So here there is A with 3 but A with 1, right? So 3 option left. Okay. So now this option will not be touched, right? So understand this. The B is the Robert Brown. So what Robert Brown did, for A and B both have the 3-1. So let's confirm, yes, right? So Robert Brown discovered the nucleus. So now D option is eradicate also. Schleiden firstly see that the plants are composed of different kind of cells, and the Schwann see what? Schwann see the presence of cell wall is a unique character of plant cell. Why? Because actually Schleiden was seeing the plant cell and he was see the cell wall as well, but he don't know that the cell wall is the unique character of plant cell, right? But when Theodore Schwann studied it and see that the animal plant does not consist the cell wall, and then only we find that the cell wall is unique character for the plant cell. So your answer should be A. Okay, your answer should be A. Now let's look ahead. So the next question is, blank are the exception of cell theory. Very important thing, right? I will make a separate video on it also, right, about the viruses. So the answer is virus. Why virus is exception of cell theory, right? So cell theory says that every organism must compose a cell and cell product, right? But what about the virus? Virus is not a cellular thing. Virus is a kind of protein plus genetic material. If we talk about the COVID virus, so COVID virus is what? COVID virus is the composition in which you find RNA and the outer spherical spike proteins. Clear? So the viruses are answer. Viruses are not the part of, are not accord with the cell theory. They are the exception of cell theory. The next question is, omnis cellula e celluli, new cells arise from the pre-existent cell. The statement was given by whom? I think this is very easy question for you, so please pause it and give answer, right? So the answer is what? Answer is the Rudolf Virchow in the year 1855. Okay, so answer is B, right? So for today we are finished with the cell theory. So thank you very much for listening me, and if you like our initiative, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Jai Hind.